Welcome in to Capper's Cave. I'm your host, Lorenzo de Costa. This is free picks and shit on Capper's Cave, brought to you by Intellect Sports. We have NFL Divisional Week. Best bets. So not too much to research, not too much to go over, but we will talk about a few things and then get into our picks. And we have the one, the only, Locksmith Larry, or Larry the Locksmith, whichever you prefer. How are we doing today? Doing good, man. I bet you's pretty happy with your Bills still alive in the playoffs. Extremely happy. And we may have a play against them. Maybe. But we have a good show with picks on every playoff game, of course, for the divisional round. So listen in, follow us on Twitter, Facebook. Please like the show or leave a review on whichever platform you listen to the podcast. Also, get the app for more picks on NBA, college b-ball, and hockey, and more. Well, not yet, but soon to be more. Larry's pick. Let's get into it. Larry, your Browns pick. Again, I took it off the board last week, and you won straight up. And I owe you dinner for a week. In fact, it's been all this week. So, you are welcome. Yeah, thanks, boss. So, what are you having tonight? Hopefully not Ruth Chris or anything extravagant like that. No, man, it's pizza night, man. Thursday night, your pie pizza. What? Yeah, man, best pizza in all Georgia. Maybe best in America. Well, I know you don't travel far, so I'll go ahead and squash that. But your pie pizza, huh? I would love to try it anytime that I may be down there. But nice win again. Nice win for Cleveland. And let's see if they could pull off the impossible this week, all right? KC, big game. College football, not much here other than a boring championship to watch, and we were wrong, so fuck this. No one was stopping Bama, or should I say Devonta Smith. This guy, just crazy. I mean, he even got hurt, and he tore it up. He was open on like every play. Really, I don't know who Mac Jones would be without him, but anyways, let's dig into some news and some rants maybe for the week. Then we shall give our picks. So if you just like the picks, well, go ahead and I guess fast forward. Or vice versa. We don't judge. We don't give a shit. You like what you like. Moving on. NFL. It seems though Urban Meyer is working out a deal with the Jags. Not that this has to do too much with gambling, but it's interesting, right? With Trevor. To say the least, I think, but this also could be a dumpster fire just waiting to happen, right? Urban, no NFL experience. Trevor, no NFL experience. And they have absolutely no pieces on that team. Maybe let Minshew coach. If you're not going to let him play, let him coach. I mean, it's a good backup to have. But he could be like the new and improved Belichick. He wears jorts and a cutoff Jags polo maybe for every game. I would watch it. Absolutely. Really, though, they have no players there. And does Urban know you can't recruit like you do in college? It's about the dollar bills, y'all. Right? Although that's what he's looking at. Looking pretty pricey. And, the Jags, they do have some cap space, some picks, so we shall see. That could turn into something. Our Super Bowl picks are still alive. I got Bills, Tampa. I'm going on a crazy one, but you picked both bye teams, so easily to say that, Larry, your picks are still there. I'm going to talk about something real quick about these hybrid QBs because they are in our plays and they are in the playoffs once again. It's the evolving running hybrid QB, right? We've all seen it. We've all heard about it. And I believe the AFC is kind of defining the role. And, and will they dominate the Super Bowls to come? I mean, they're definitely making their presence this year in the playoffs, sitting at, we'll say 50%. There was 50% last week, I believe. Now this week you have, Allen, Jackson, Mahomes, Baker. I suppose we could throw Rodgers in there as, say, an older model hybrid. Just the newer models come with more bells and whistles, right? But right now, I would probably take Rodgers on my team over any other. Right now. Maybe not for the future, but right now. On the other end, though, you have this dying breed, right? From last week, we'll talk about those playoffs, with Rivers. Probably going to retire, if not this year, but next. Big Ben, same thing. Those tears were of joy probably at the end of that game and of anger, so sadness. But, we can say same thing. He might be out. Breeze, Brady, same thing. Next couple of years, again, if not this year. I think the only exception here is Goff. But we can kind of say he's the dinosaur kind of holding that team back. Now look at the incoming QBs for this year's draft. Trevor, Fields, Zach Wilson, BYU, Kyle Trask, Florida. All they're that hybrid QB. Now, if you throw Mac Jones in there, we think he's trash without Devonta Smith. Let's see if he stays there. And let's see if he has it without him and, Waddle and the other fucking awesome receivers for Bama. That's really hard to judge. But you get where we're going here. It's evolving. Now at a faster rate, it seems like. And we've all seen it in the last 10 years kind of slowly take off. And even since the Vic days, as we thought we'd probably see more. But maybe it's a harder breed. Maybe it's just harder to breed. It's taken some time. But, look at all the teams now. We'll start with the AFC. We won't go through everyone, but I just want to point this out with the AFC. Okay, again, you have Allen, AFC East. You have Allen, the Bills, Tua, Miami, Newton, New England. Not sure how long he'll be there, but the Jets, they might get Fields because Darnold really isn't working, but maybe they'd stick with him. But let's just say that, hypothetically, that they get Fields. So we got 4 right there. AFC North, Pitt, they'll be upgrading soon. And then you got Jackson, Baker, and Burrow, all the hybrid. AFC South, Tannehill. You don't think that right off the bat, but yeah, he can scramble, he can run. Indy, well, Rivers will be out soon. Houston, Watson for now. And Jags, probably Trevor. AFC West, Mahomes. And then you have Vegas. Well, Vegas, no, with Carr. Yes, with Mariota. Chargers, another one here with high potential. And if you look at this guy on video, you would say pocket passer, right? But Herbert, no, he can do both. He ran for 234 yards on the season, 5 rushing TDs. And then you have Denver, Drew Lock. He can be mobile, but I think he's still to be determined, right? But that's still a large majority. Now, this is where it gets interesting, right? The large majority is in the AFC. Maybe that trend has just started there for the winning QBs. But now look at the NFC. We're not going to go through every team. We don't really have to because all they really have in the NFC is Trubisky, which may not start next season. So not doing a very good job picking up those hybrids. Russell Wilson. Yes, we all know how good he is, but not successful this year. Kyler Murray. Again, not successful, but yeah, I think they will be. Those are 2 good ones right there. But again, the NFC just didn't succeed with them this year. Maybe it's the organization that they're in, the players that are around them. Or can the NFC just not stay away from this West Coast spread pocket game? Which, again, it's still used a lot today, but if it's adapted right as a hybrid spread option run, it works. A lot of people use it. But again, not that it's not successful to be a pocket passer, but more so, will we ever see it again? The trends seem to be fading away, right? We still know in good spots like New England. It's, again, another hypothetical. Say Garoppolo goes back there or Matt Stafford, which I'm scared of. I think he would do great there. I think there's still some variables where it works, where it doesn't. It's still successful as you see today. To squash the point that we're making here, we're not going to squash it totally. But as far as Super Bowl winners, the last 20 Super Bowl winners, in fact, look at all the Super Bowl winners. I'm not going to name each one of them, but they're all pocket-style quarterbacks. Brady, of course, the last several years. Foles won against him. Manning, both Mannings. Breeze, Big Ben. Besides Wilson and Mahomes, but again, that trend is kind of slowly coming. So it does help the point. Again, it's just exciting. I think these players are a little bit more exciting, but it's still good to see kind of the old men playing the pocket passer. It's still fun to see if it can still be successful. But moving on, Browns, surprise, again, great win. We will have a play on. And we think after watching this game, Steelers, are they on a downward spiral? I mean, these wide receivers keep talking shit. And they don't even have Brown anymore. They don't have Bell anymore. They don't have Plexico anymore. And it just seems a bit childish. It's not Tomlin's MO, is it? Or the Rooneys. That's why they get rid of these peeps. Maybe. Is this a Tomlin problem? Is it? I don't know. They might need to review that next year. They might need to. All right, without further ado, let's get into what you came here for. Yes. First game on the board Saturday, Los Angeles Rams at Green Bay Packers. Sitting at -6.5. Over under sitting at 45.5. This is the Saturday 4:35 game. LA gets a taste of some bitter cold. I mean, it's going to be colder than a polar bear's freaking nuts, right? Well, generally, I would guess those are probably warm. So maybe the paws or the nose. Let's just go with nose, the polar bear's nose, all right? This is just one angle, all right? And this team hasn't seen cold weather since they went to Pittsburgh in November this year, but the temperature there was 55 degrees. Prior to that, years probably since the Rams seen cold weather. And in fact, they were in St. Louis for probably the last time. Again, this is just one angle, but we think it's a good one. A better one here is Rodgers' ATS record in the playoffs. Now listen to this. In the first round or first game for Green Bay, going back to 2010 when they won the Super Bowl, watch that playoff stint. They covered every game and covered the Super Bowl and didn't even have a bye. Anywho, since 2010, Rodgers, Green Bay, right, 6-2 ATS in the first playoff game. And one of those losses was actually an SU win, so they won the game, didn't cover, but they only lost the spread by 0.5. Beyond that, Rodgers has great ATS numbers in the second and third round, but that's not what we're talking about here. Maybe next week. I mean, we think for sure next week, but yeah, we don't need to get into that. Now, beyond the past, let's get to the present. Rodgers is having a record season. No reason he can't continue here. He slashed some of the best Ds this year. I mean, we can't give him all the credit as Matt LaFleur is doing a stand-up job there in his short tenure, right? He's doing a great job. Everybody thought at first, oh, young coach, Rodgers, him won't get along, but they're doing great. They've probably lost they've lost 6 games total maybe in the 2 years. But it's so fun to say, right? LaFleur. Who else? Why is that name ringing a bell? Who else? LaFleur. That's Peter, man. Peter? Oh, yeah, it's Peter LaFleur. Yeah, dodgeball, right? Oh, man. Now we like this play even more. Right? There's a lot of ties there. First of all, Peter LaFleur, he was a winner. He gambled. He gambled on his own team, but dodgeball, it's a sport, a great one at that. Really. Also, they do have this dude named Adams, right? Devontae. It can't seem to be guarded. Reminds me of Devontae. Yes, they're different, but they tore it up in the CPF championship game. Again, I don't want to get into that again. Still, close enough in my book, and another meaningless angle. But whatever. They have some great pieces around them. Lazard, Scantling, Tavon Austin, which they haven't been using too much. But if you use him right, this guy's got big playability. He's fast. I think they will. He'll be a tricky spot for this one. I think they put him in there a few times, and it could be a game changer. Besides the weather, though, the Rams, they're beat up, damaged goods. Yes, nice win in Seattle, but how much can we take from that? The stadium has helped them win for how many years? Now, the negative, quote-unquote, 12th man didn't really help in this one, right? Also, Seattle, no bueno this year. Just not average O. Just fired their O coordinator because of it. Average defense. As we predicted in this game, the best defense won the game. But there's a different tune in Green Bay. A different jingle. Different QB. It doesn't like the word sack. Also, doesn't scramble as well maybe as Wilson. But actually, he still scrambles pretty damn well. But he also doesn't hold the ball as long as Wilson does. It really doesn't. It's a different tune there. Back to the injuries. Goff didn't look a hundo, and I don't even know if he's going to play. but he probably won't. I mean, also Wolford's got a concussion, so nobody's really 100%. Even if Goff is a hundo for this game, let's just say he is, we have to downgrade him to like 85% with the weather. How it affects those types of injuries, right? Especially on the hand. Now you got Cooper Kupp, day-to-day, knee injury, a very crucial part of that system of Mr. McVay's. Listen, this is going to be a tall task for a team that we really don't feel that this is going to be close. Green Bay has dominated this matchup, going 6-0 ATS the last 6. Packers 7-3 ATS in their last 10 games as a home favorite. 4-1 ATS in their last 5 playoff home games. Surprisingly, this number has gone down from 7 to 6.5, which we like already. Grab it now. We already grabbed it. It might go back up. I just feel that people look at this and think, oh, this is the worst situation for Rodgers and them to get LA with the defense. Well, really, it's playoffs. Most teams are going to be tough. All right, but they're not going to have the offense to compete with this. Moving on. What game is next? I don't even know. Is there a game Saturday night? Is there a game? Oh, the Baltimore Ravens at the Buffalo Bills. Bills now down to -2. Started at like 3. Over-under sitting at 50. Another cold one here. I like these cold weather games. Possible snow should be a doozy. But not going to give a pick here. I think this is Larry's pick, and I have to let him put it on the board no matter who he picks, as I owe him for last week as well. I have too much fucking bias here, and you all know who I'm on. But again, no matter who you have, Larry, I will give my 2 cents at the end, okay? 2 cents, man. That's about all you got, man. Maybe, but go on. From the sound of your tone, though, I already imagine you're picking the Ravens. Do it. I dare you. Well, hell yeah, man. I'm jumping on that Jackson bus, man. More like a damn NASCAR right now, man. Hell yeah. This boy's scooting, booting. And both sides playing good, man. Playing good at the right time. They peeling and wheeling, man. They won the last 6 SU ATS. 5-0 in their last 5 games as an underdog. They have the momentum, man, and momentum's worth weight in its gold during the postseason. These birds, man, lock it up. No, I won't. I can't. In fact, you didn't even lock up the last one. You didn't even play it, did you? That's horseshit, man. Pure fucking horseshit. I sense a little hostility. I mean, really, just playing. I'll put it up on the board. But I do want to say, you say 6-0 SU and ATS the last 6 games for Baltimore. But who? Cincy, Giants, Jags, Dallas, Cleveland. Really? I mean, Buffalo's doing the same thing against better teams. 8-2 ATS the last 10. 9-1 SU, but only because of a Hail fucking Murray. Or they could be 10-0 straight up. Get this. They've dominated the ATS margins, averaging 11.35 points over the spread the last 10. The Ravens only 4.8 last 10. And by margins, it's how big they cover the spread over just covering it, right? Also, this line has been shot down already from 3.5. Okay, it was 3.5 to 2. Please keep fucking going. And this is largely due to Lamar in the play of the Bills last game. Because yes, if you watched it, looked at the numbers afterwards, yes, they were outplayed by the numbers. Like first downs, yards, whatever. Playoffs, doesn't matter. It's bullshit. But the only numbers that matter are the scoreboard. And they did what they had to do. They made plays. This was probably very nerve-wracking for young Josh. Lots of pressure here for this young buck of a QB in Buffalo, right? First home playoff game since 95. No pressure. There's no pressure. Yeah, no pressure on the dog on this one. Old man Rivers. This is not his first rodeo. Coming in being a 7-point dog. No pressure at all. And yet the Bills still pulled it off. Expect them to be a little more relaxed at home this time. And the offense should reign all over those Ravens, right? Now, this should be close, but I'd prefer to tease here with the over. Maybe cold offenses, they may struggle. But, look at last game. It still went over 51 or pushed. And they didn't even look that exciting. The two good offenses didn't look that great, and they still pushed. So, I'll take Baltimore with 7 points. Okay, that'll move them up to 9. If you got it early, maybe 10. That would be really nice. But I do think it's going to be a close game, but I do like the over. These offenses are just tough to stop, no matter how good these defenses are, no matter how cold it is. They're going to be tough to stop. So, take the smart play. And I'm going to lock that up. Sorry. Yeah, man. I'll take it. We'll see, man. What are you going to pay me next week when if Baltimore wins straight up? I'm not taking that bet. I don't want to feel bad, even if they lose, and then I lose to you, too. I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. The most I could do is I'll tease Baltimore. Okay? Because I can still get the win. I can still get the win and a win in the betting world, right? Yeah. All right, let's move on to Sunday's game. First game. Are they doing them at 2 or 3 o'clock? I think it's like 3 o'clock. Better get my numbers right. Cleveland. Kansas City. Minus 10.5. Over-under sitting at 57. The Browns. Coming off their first playoff appearance in 20 years. And almost winning. And also, not almost, they won. This is the first time they beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh 17 years. KC off a playoff bye. And Mahomes now 2 weeks rest, as he didn't play the last week 17. This could spell trouble, but let's dig in. Let's start with the D of the Browns. I think they're really hard to judge right now with the level of play last week. I mean, what can we really take from that? Ben still threw for 500 yards, 4 TDs, but he had to throw every play since the first quarter. The turnovers it seemed like the ball was just rolling in their direction, just popping in their hands. It was all in the first half, but again, this D, they lost some key players towards the end of the season. Vernon, Ward. Ward might be back, and they do need him to have any chance slowing the passing game here. Otherwise, they have some holes, and the Chiefs will exploit them. This game, it's really going to be up to the Browns offense. If they can't get the run going and keep Mahomes off the field, they may have a chance, right? And if they try to go and do a shootout, they'll most certainly lose. Mahomes and most of the starters, yes, she'll be well rested, but this could be a disadvantage as they may come out flat, not that aggressive, but this also may be the Walrus's Andy Reid, the way he plays this. Plays a little soft, a little slow, kind of find out the game plan of the Browns, kind of wait and see, as he knows he's got Mahomes, right? And he can make a play at any moment and close the game. I mean, if you watch this year, they've done this a lot. Not blowing out teams, playing from behind, not that aggressive until they need to be. And you get the behind on the Browns, which we do predict they do early on. They're going to run all over you, thus running the clock, lowering the scores. Again, this isn't the same KC team from last year. Yeah, still Super Bowl bound, we can say. But they've taken a step back. And if the Browns take a lead, we've seen what the Browns can do on D. When they do have a lead, there just seems to be a momentum swing for them, and they do well with it. But I think the Browns come out the same, trying to control the clock, nothing crazy, waiting for the moment to cash. As Baker has shown, he can cash when it's needed. He has the best deep ball QBR from weeks 11 through 17. QBR rating like 140. I mean, this by any means is not going to be like last game. Those turnovers, they're not going to happen against this team. They're not going to happen against KC. You force Mahomes out of the pocket, he will make you pay. They're going to have to try to contain him in the pocket, which I believe they're going to try to do with Garrett, and give up the small plays. Protect the big plays, give up the small ones. So where are we going here? We haven't really said in any direction. It sounds like Cleveland, but we don't like either side. The Browns have surprised people all season, in both good and bad, right? Cleveland came off a 23-16 loss to the lowly Jets in Week 16. That wasn't too long ago. A pair of convincing wins over the Steelers, get a divisional round, blah, 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 yes. But we like the total here, and we like to fade the public. All the public money going with the over, right? Of course, everybody thinks, oh, boom, blow up, defenses. Yeah, it suck. But wait, They should go up. So do note the Browns are, they're a middle of a pack offense. 369 yards per game, 25 points per game. Listen, the under's sitting up there way high. I think these teams come out a little flustered. It'll be cold. Let's kind of play it safe for a little bit and then start making big plays. And we're going to see it'll be an exciting game. I'm not saying anything like that, but predict it around in the 20s, all right? And that's my play about. So take under, where are we sitting at? 57 right now. Sweet fancy Moses on my buttered toast, man. Man, I don't like that at all. This is going to be a game full of TDs. But I ain't messing with that, though. I'm going to stay with the Browns, man. Them hot brownies, fresh out the oven, a little shake and bake, man. A little shake and baker. This team's hot, man. They won a week's worth of meals for me, right? And I'm standing behind them, man. Listen, these boys ain't been here in a while. They pumped, happy as a tick on a fat dog, man, and these dogs going to play. I might just take it money line. Larry. Feeling good. I like it. But money line? Hell yeah, man. Well, since you won last week with the money line, I'll throw this on the board, but with the 10.5 points, which already it could climb to 11, so you might want to wait. Telling you, man, my homie gonna need some Pedialyte or Gatorade from that super hangover, man. It ain't hard. It's hard to go there 2 years in a row, ain't it? It is, and I completely agree with you. It is hard for most teams, but there's some out there that can do it 4 years in a row. Yeah, man. Well, if you don't remember, man, you guys lost all them games. The Bills. Yes, I do remember. Of course I remember. But to your point, yes, it is hard to make it there. I just don't feel the loss is this game. Probably next. Against my Bills. Right? I think that sounds pretty good. Yeah, you can turn it up. You can turn it up, Larry. Listen, a couple good angles here, though, with special teams, okay? And this is where I do kind of like the Browns. Because they're going to need these type of plays in the special teams, right? And it can be the difference in these divisional games. This Dearness Johnson guy, right? He's taken over the primary kick returner for Cleveland, and he's been impressive. He finished with 351 yards, 14 returns, was good for 25.1 per run back. He had another 83 yards in returns against Pittsburgh, which is averaging like 28. So some sneaky plays. If they get some stops, which could be the difference in this game. I mean, last point, strange angle here, besides the special teams, but Travis Kelce has a lot of Cleveland ties, right? And if you didn't know this, he was from there, born there, raised in Cleveland Heights. This might be a soft spot for him. Maybe it downgrades him a little bit. And maybe he misses a couple, by accident. Who knows? I think it's a different angle, but maybe he feels bad for the Browns. He got a Super Bowl last year. Maybe he feels bad. Might let him stay in the game, all right? But give us a cover. That's fine. I'll lock it up, Larry, for you, right? And Kelce even, he did stay. And yeah, you're just pointing that out to me there, Larry. Yeah, he thinks his family, right? They still live there, right? And they're going to be wearing Chiefs gear. But he knows they're going to be deep down. They're going to be rooting for the Browns. So lock it up. Browns plus 10.5. I guess I'll give it to you, but we like the under too. Next up, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, the late game. Currently, New Orleans sitting at -3 over under 52. Battle of the gray hairs. Who's got more to prove? Who's the more complete team? Easy, the Saints. Right? Listen, Belichick already put his magic dust on this one. And Brady won't prove he can do it without him. Listen, Belichick will be back next year with Stafford or somebody good, and they'll be awesome, unfortunately. Only proving that he doesn't need Brady. Really, though, Breeze has the more complete team, more in-sync team right now, right? This is where the identity failure is going to hurt you. That we've talked about Tampa Bay in this game. They just eked out a win against Washington and Heineke, which we will note if you listen to last week. let me pause the music here, because I got to get something correct here for you listeners. Okay, so I believe I made a joke about Heineke, the quarterback, right? And I said Heineken or something. I made a joke about something about the commercial that referenced the most interesting man in the world, right? Larry corrected me and said, "No, you dumbass. It's Modelo." But it's actually, we're both dumbasses because it's Dos Equis, which we had a good laugh after the show. So we just want to get that right. Those are great commercials, but we might want to keep up on our beer commercials, I suppose. Not that has anything to do with anything. But listen, though. How many times has Brady been here, right? Too fucking many times. Breeze only once and won. But he has been dragged down by shit plays, shit calls, and simply just not good enough in the playoffs. I think that old age wisdom is going to do him good in this one. Yes, Brady is old, and you might say he has that wisdom as well, but we don't think so because he's more like Benjamin Button. We believe he's truly anti-aging, therefore wisdomless, right? Can we say that? I mean, the Saints have beat them twice this year, and not close ones. They obviously hold some advantages. There's some mismatches out there. They also covered and won the last 5 against them. 7 of 10. Sean Payton owns them. Listen, Breeze is getting some healthy pieces back, Thomas. And he's starting to click with these others, too. Breeze, he's developed a strong relationship with Jared Cook. He has a team-high 7 receiving TDs. Averages 13.6 yards per catch. The tight ends are good to have in your pocket in these games, especially a clutch one, and he's proven to be. Listen, with all eyes on Thomas, Kamara, this should open up some big plays for Cook. The Saints are 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 games as a favorite. 7-1 ATS in their last 8 versus NFC. 35-16 ATS in their last 51 following an ATS win. That's a pretty good number. Now, Saints, on the other hand, their defense allows 21 points per game, 5th fewest in the NFL, and rank in the top 5 in all yardage categories. Again, this is going to come down to defense in this game too, but we just feel they're more complete all the way around. Buccaneers, 1-4 in their last 5 games as a road underdog. 10-26-1 ATS in their last 37 games after allowing more than 250 passing yards in the previous. Listen, eat the points, but you might want to wait for the Brady Bucks to come in, and maybe you get 2 with a hook. Well, I think that's it, unless you got anything else there, Larry. I'm your host, Lorenzo de Costa. This is Free Picks and Shit on Cappers Cave, brought to you by Intellect Sports. We will see you 1 or 2 or 3 more weeks. I don't know. I think it's a couple more weeks. Then we'll start getting into another show. But we'll talk about that later. Have a good one, and best of luck.